Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord Nuthor 7, the T, and my hackers are kind of freaking out today. As you can see, this is Opera. That's Chrome. Chrome ain't working. I got Opera. It won't let me upload. So I've recorded a I've recorded a video on the weather, and I've recorded a video on the coronavirus update. But my hackers are super freaking out today, as they traditionally do, after y'all have been absolutely incredible, awesome, and then Thor News survives, and then they usually freak out and pew 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 go after my computer and make it hard to give you guys updates on the major storm that is affecting the United States, the Category 4 Eurocane that will hit Europe, and then the major storms we have that are coming in succession. Bang, 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 right? And then you got the coronavirus. So I've recorded two videos on those, but I am unable to upload them at this moment because my hackers are freaking out, which is pretty much a tradition, after the 4th. They're like, oh, shucks, after 26 straight months, we have lost again. Our record is worse than the Washington Generals, who used to play the Harlem Globetrotters. And then I get to feel like the Harlem Globetrotters. So I'm about to open my first Miller High Life in a week or two and say cheers to y'all. Cheers to Asteroid Fight Club, and cheers to all the awesome and amazing people in the world. Now, let me say thank you again to all of Asteroid Fight Club, and definitely smoke them if you got them. All right? And I do want to point out that yesterday, the Hopi Princess and the Viking Marine Archangel Michael sent me some money and said, please buy a pizza, which I did last night. I ate half of it and then passed out. And they said, please buy some beer and drink it. So when a Viking Marine, whose name is Michael, sends you money, tells you to buy beer, hey man, and thank you to everybody out there. I'm going to buy some beer, and then we are going to talk about some major subjects because 2020 is crazy. Now, there's a good chance I'm going to offend you because people have turned their belief systems into religious systems, whether it be politics or your opinion on space and earth weather. It's literally become like the Catholic Church, and there's like a inquisition going on digitally where they want to destroy anyone who disagrees with whatever they the fuck believe in. All right? So I don't mean to offend you. I'm a critical thinker. You know, I've never liked politics. You know, I've always thought that the sun is weird, and not a single human being on the planet knows what the sun is going to do next. Cheers. I love you guys. Oh my God, that is good. All right, so where should I start? I have to admit, for the last 4 days, I have been more stressed out than I've ever been at Thor News. More stressed out than hurricane season, more stressed out than anything, right? And then I watched my first State of the Union address in years just to see what he would say about the coronavirus. Because as your planetary defense commander, I was hoping he would give everybody a heads up that we're dealing with a extremely serious situation. But he was like, hey, dude, we've got the virus contained. They've got it contained in China, and the economy's never been better. And boom, that was about it. He said we needed to worry about immigrants. We need to worry about the opioid crisis. And so after that, I went to sleep. And then I woke up and lost my mind. I woke up going, baby shark, Do 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 do. Mama shart. Do do. And I'm saying shart, not shark. So that is where my brain is at. After totally stressing out for 100 hours, I've lost it. Yeah, God bless Space Force. Right? Because, my initial thing was like, hey, man, if the president isn't worried about the economy or the coronavirus, then I'm not that worried about it either. But that is not true because if you watch the projection numbers, they continue to climb in a very upward fashion where the number of cases that people have gotten and the number of deaths are doubling every 3 days. And so by the end of February, if the numbers continue to double, we will see 100,000 deaths. Now, of all the reports that I read that my hackers don't want me to put out, that the only cases that are getting counted are people who die in hospitals, and that the hospitals are so full, people are like waiting outside in their cars, or some people aren't even going to the hospital if they have been infected. And so we can't really trust the numbers. I watched the WHO update today, and they said, how do we know to trust the data? And the guy said, well, if the data is accurate, if the data is not accurate, we would be getting reports from other countries around the world that this is a very bad situation. The only problem with that, in my mind, is that this thing really started around the 23rd of January. And so it supposedly has a 2-week incubation period. So we're still on the tail end of that. And it initially shows signs of the basic flu. So I know that like 2,000 people are quarantined in India. I know that the Pentagon put out a crazy report today that they almost worded it like they were going to give a tour to 5 people who had the coronavirus, but then they decided that was a bad idea. Or maybe it was just like they were going to give a tour to 5 people from Wuhan, and they decided to cancel it at the last minute. On that note, I'm going to smoke them if you got them. And so, like, you've had runs on Hong Kong's run out of toilet paper, China's out of masks, they're out of paper towels. So I was hoping last night the president would be like, look, this is a very serious situation. We need to do everything we can to help China, to help Hong Kong, and for people to unite and come together and get prepared for what could be the coronavirus coming over here. But that was not the case. I mean, overall last night it was like everything is freaking great. Nobody's got to worry about nothing except for immigrants and the opioid crisis. And so I don't know. And here's a treat for you guys. Part of the reason I've been freaking out is, what I got here is Nostradamus. So if Nostradamus bothers you, then you may want to step out if somehow you're like, that is evil. Nostradamus is evil. I've been reading this my whole life, and here's the guarantee. If you read Nostradamus, you're going to get nightmares. Okay? And so, because I love you guys so much, I've been sitting on this for a couple days now, because I don't always like to give out information that's going to freak people out. What do I do with my glasses? Anyway, I'll find it in a second. But there's a thing called Presages, where Nostradamus lists the year, and then he lists the month, like January, February, March, April. You following me? And so Nostradamus I read them all again. And Nostradamus only has 1 year where he basically talks about plague and pestilence for almost every single month. And in this, the year would be 1565. Now, the numbers of the matter. I gotta find my glasses, man. What kind of production value am I giving if I can't? Oh, here they are. And so let us start with, he gives a basic rundown of like what we're going to be dealing with. And so 1565, 100 times worse than the year that passed, even for the greatest ones of the realm and of the church. Now, let me take a second out to say in the last week, I've had 2 discussions with people, and those 2 people basically said that this thing was a bioweapon that got out of the lab. That makes sense, man. I mean, just think about it. The idea that, like, you ate one too many bats and you got some super crazy bat virus, that just does not ring true. It's almost like if America ate one too many chickens and then we get a super chicken virus. It just doesn't seem to hold weight, you know? And I knew that when that was my gut feeling when they blamed it on bat and snake eating. I was like, oh, geez, this must have been some crazy shit that got out of the lab. You know what I'm talking about? All right. And so, but here's the kicker, because I've been saying for 7 years, we all have to unite. And that everybody's like, no, we got to get as rich as we can before the grand transition. And I was like, okay, whatever. And that we could get to a better place without a mass casualty event. And they're like, no, we have to sacrifice. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just do the best I can. And so what this is basically saying is that the problems are going to, no matter how rich you are, you probably ain't going to be able to run from this. You probably ain't going to be able to buy a vaccine. No matter how famous you are, you probably ain't going to be able to run from this. You probably ain't going to be able to buy a vaccine. That is going to hit the richest of the rich. It's going to hit the poorest of the poor. It's going to hit everybody. This is if Nostradamus is correct here. Okay, kids? Just kind of do me, but, you know, you should be able to handle it by now. Infinite evils, death, exile, ruin, broken. The great female to death to be, plague, wounds, and log. So that's his breakdown of the year, right? Okay, now we're getting into it. Snow, rust, and rain. This is for January. Look, he puts the dates there. January. Snow, rust, and rain, and great plagues. So Nostradamus is talking about in January, and remember, I read all the other presages to look for plagues and pestilence, and this is pretty much the only year that plague and pestilence runs through the whole year. And so we've got snow in the upper parts of the United States and in Newfoundland, and we've got snow across the globe. We got rust and we got rain. It's raining, it's pretty heavy rain. Like I said, I made a video that's 14 minutes before my hackers were like, we ain't letting you put it up. I made a video on the coronavirus update before hackers were like, we ain't letting you put it up. And the fact that my hackers are fucking worried about like siphoning my views and trying to obstruct my videos when the world is falling apart and the coronavirus is breaking out is fucking hilarious, man. You know, you guys are like, you guys are almost like cute supervillains that I can't even imagine. The fact that you guys have been your whole team has been so focused on me for so long is adorable. It proves that I'm amazing, super fascinating, and that like I'm a threat to your entire group somehow. So I gotta say that I love my hackers and my haters, that this whole process has been fun for me up to this point. Thank God for Asteroid Fight Club. And Taylor, I love you. And I even pray for your mama. I know she's going through some troubles, and I know you were an evil, sadistic person when my stepdad passed away and all your buddies, but I still forgive you, and I pray for you, and I pray for your mama's health and a speedy recovery, because that is how amazing I am. And Tony, I know you haven't married well, and I know you're having problems with your kids, and I'm praying for you too. And that whole team, I'm praying for all you guys, man. I'm hoping you guys get to a cool point one day. But the fact that you guys are messing with me when I'm trying to give coronavirus updates is, I can't, it's this hilarious, like I said, today I lost my mind. I was just like, okay, I'm just losing my mind. Everything's crazy. Baby shark, mama shark, do. And I'm thinking about boobs. Let's talk about Nostradamus. Let's get back to it. Snow, rust, rain, and great plagues for the great ones. Joy, pestilence, sleeplessness. Seeds. Grains plentiful, And though a lot of the cults on the YouTubes and the space weather community have been selling y'all that our crops are totally getting wiped out and that there are major food shortages, it hasn't showed up. And if you look at the commodities, we've got plenty of grain, we've got plenty of corn, we've got plenty of soybeans that boom, dude, they're kicking ass on growing the shit. And that I don't know, it almost at times feels like they're trying to get the dumb people to short the stocks and the commodities. It's like what? Controlled opposition? Would Wall Street do that though? Would Wall Street sink so low as to occupy space weather and weather? Maybe. All right. So you got seeds, grains plentiful, and more of bands, which is weird. But I want to say thank you to Incubus. They put out a great song called Our Love. When people would always say, how do you feel about Incubus? I say they're an excellent band. I just don't listen to them a lot because doing what I do, I need upbeat music. And so I wish they put out more heroic anthems. They put out a heroic anthem called Our Love on the 31st of January. And the very first line is, I want to press the button. And so thank you, Incubus, for putting out that song. So here's the one positive note of January. There will be more good bands rising up and Incubus to put out the song. They will prepare themselves, hostility unallayed. All right, so for just January, who we've gone through, we got plagues and pestilence. All right, so now we're going to February. Are you with me? Among the great ones, great discord to arise. Oh, hey, we have some, no disrespect to gay people. I love you. And I think that I'm a Christian. I think that divorced Christians picking on gay people the whole time has been the most hypocritical thing I've seen in the last 20 years, man. And so what I'm saying is that you got like the Iowa caucus is like a buttfuck festival. No disrespect to buttfuckers, but and it was designed to make you lose. Like they designed this shit to make it this just gossipy soap opera a political clusterfuck. It's like so clear. And then they spread rumors of like Bootleg paid for the app that counted up the votes. Like, how is that even fucking possible? And then there are all these like Hillary Clinton has ties to the fucking app. And dude, you guys have turned Hillary Clinton into like a combination of Hitler, Genghis Khan, like some super demon, like Freddie from like literally you guys have made Hillary Clinton the greatest fucking boogeyman of all time who's everywhere at all times. Like it's the silliest shit I've ever seen, to seeing grown men freaking out about Hillary Clinton and like always, but it's Hillary fucking Clinton's fault. So then you had that, and then you had what was next? Then you had the failed impeachment, and I've said forever. I've said Trump is not going to get impeached and removed. Hillary Clinton's not going to jail, and QAnon's mass arrests are never coming, right? Bing, bing, bing. Hit all three. And thanks again to the Everybody Astro Fight Club and the Hopi Princess and the Viking Marine who gave me money and told me to buy beer. I'm missing a third thing. Oh, yeah. And then Donald Trump refused to shake Nancy Pelosi's hand. So at the end, she ripped up the speech, and the media was livid as coronavirus numbers continue to double every single 3 days. Man, you couldn't script this shit. Wait a second, you could. And so for February, among the great ones, and hey, make America great again. So it's almost like Nostradamus is literally going, hey, among the great ones, we're great, right? Great discord to arise. Well, I think we've nailed it on this one, right? So we have great discord in the first fucking 5 days of February. Oh, so yeah, and then we had the State of the Union. So we had the Iowa caucus clusterfuck. Then we had the State of the Union where Trump was like, virus is okay. The economy's never been greater. Even though we've had 3 interest rate cuts, the Federal Reserve has pumped in $420 billion straight into the banks. And China, which is pretty much neck and neck with us for the largest GDP in the world, is having, oh my God, thank you, Julie. Boom. Thank you. China they have the biggest economy, like neck and neck with us. Their Starbucks are all closed down. They have 70 million people in normal cities that are in their house, like ghost homes, like ships, airplanes, and the stock market was up 300 points today. Like it's insane. But I'm just saying, so we have Discord. We definitely have Discord. And remember, Discord's another word for heiress. A drink on that. Okay, so we're through line 1 of February. The tall cleric will plot a great event. And I wish I had my Dan and DB buddy, because these are just breakdowns of what they think they're saying. Nostradamus uses like Latin, French, Spanish. So these are just interpretations. And I will go in and do a better video on interpretations. But Leclerc procere, which is Procre, which is almost like Ceres. Un grand sabracer. Anyway, plot a great event. New sex to place in hatred and discord. So like I said, the reason that I'm making this live video is because the 2 videos I recorded, the sex in YouTube, who literally never deal with hackers, whose numbers, even if they have lower subscriber numbers, their numbers are always through the roof compared to mine. They never have money. Like the sex in YouTube, like I said, they kind of backed off for 10 days, but since I made it again, they're all pissy. And they're all like, we know what the sun is going to do. All right. Basically, new sex to place in hatred and discord. So the theme of February is basically hatred and discord, right? And I saw a fucking Twitter comment where someone is like, I hope the coronavirus wipes out all the homeless people in Communifornia, meaning calling California communists. And I want to remind you, motherfucking Republicans, that there are 18 million Republicans in California. So every time you're throwing a fucking state away, you're literally sacrificing like 18 million of your own people. And that is where I get upset with the Trump worship. Because it's like, you guys don't give a fuck if they get rid of Julian Assange. You guys don't give a fuck if you get rid of Alex Jones. You guys don't give a fuck if they get rid of Zero Hedge. The only person you're rooting for is one man. And that is a fucking problem. And so the idea that you would hate 18 million of your own kind, and what is it? What type of anti-Christian satanic bullshit makes you hate fucking homeless people? They are going through the worst shit I would ever wish on my worst enemy. And what are they, a fucking eyesore to you? Are you just so upset that you've seen too many stories about poop on the streets? Like, we've gotten to the point, hate and discord, where like people are like, kill all the homeless. Like, do I need to introduce you to Jesus Christ? Because he is cool, man. And he brings... All right, so basically the theme of February by Nostradamus is hatred and discord. And so, fuck, man, I think I may have nailed the year. Because February is all about plague and pestilence. And, January is plague and pestilence. And February is all about hatred and discord. War and change to injure all people. I'm guessing that would be like mentally. All right, here we go. I have to get a beer in a second. We are on to March. And March is the thing that I'm gonna go get the beer. You guys hold on. It'll take me 60 seconds. I'm on beer. I put one right next to me. I want to say again, thank you to everybody in Asteroid Fight Club. Y'all's outpouring, your support has been more incredible this month than ever. And thank you to the Hopi Warrior Princess and the Viking Marine who sent me money yesterday and said, please buy beer and pizza. Last night I bought the pizza. Today I bought the beer. I'm on beer number 2. And they said, you need to get on Instagram. And my phone won't let me get on Instagram. And so, you know, if you guys are representing a single beautiful lady who is so hot she would melt my face off, which I'm pretty sure she is, she's the one who gave me this crystal ball. You can tell her that I'm single. Oh, and thank you to the other super hot lady who sent me this. And I know this freaks people out. They're like, they're crystal, man. Crystals are cool. Okay. Thank you, Hermione. I literally love you. Literally. I literally love you, Hermione. Oh my God. You guys should see her posture. Hermione has like the greatest posture you've ever seen in person. Okay, what's it talking about? Right. Crap, I just lost my page. I didn't even drink my beer. All right. We're on to March. March is the important motherfucker. March is the reason I am freaking out, and for 4 days I've kind of been frozen like, oh, because I don't want to like be all doomy. So here we go. Secret conspiracy. And that's what gets on my fucking nerves. Is that technically I represent everyone. And so I love the people. And out of the 13, the Silicon Valley 6 and the 300, I definitely get along a whole lot better with the 300 because they're the people who build your roads, they build your houses. They're the greatest craftsmen, the greatest cooks, the greatest musicians. They're the people whose family, or they're the best of the best. And the 13 and the Silicon Valley 6, they're good at what they do, but they're just super really rich. And a lot of times they look at us like we're much less than they are. Like literally to me, like with Taylor, Taylor called me a peasant. I'm like, baby, do you even know what that word means? And Selena, oh, what am I talking about? But I'm just saying that if the rich people would be cooler, we could do shit much better. Anywho, so the idea that you have half Americans believing that a billionaire is working for the average Joe is just crazy to me. And then the idea that like you think some anonymous person is working like, oh. But don't lose faith. But I'm just, you know, it's best to here we go. And I want to remind you, as above, so below, there is absolute fucking discord at the highest levels, at the richest of the rich. There's absolute discord in every level of every single group you know of. There's even discord in that one group that's trying to take over the space weather community. They like, and if you look at all the relationships over the last 5 years, I've spent my time in this. I had a girlfriend for 2 years. And then I got the Rossi Rothschild Mars Army mad at me. But so after that, I've just kind of stuck in this foxhole for like 3 years. Sure, I let Taylor in. Man, she's beautiful though. And she has the cutest butt I've ever seen up close. What's it talking about? But I'm just saying, like relationships, marriages you thought would last have been broken up. Like we've all like all the atoms of all the relationships have been totally scattered, and we're now at the point where we're wanting, hoping, and needing the new soul tribes to reform back up. We need new power couples to realign, and that if you have survived with your mate over the last 5 years, 10 years, that means your relationship's extremely strong. Because what I've been told is that relationships and marriages are total work, and I believe that. All right, so we're still on March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change. And if you paid attention, now remember, I think the Republican and the Democrat Party are total fucking garbage and just there to fucking pull the hood over everybody's eyes. You remember 9/11? They were like, hey, 9/11, let's enact fucking all these government shit to monitor everybody. And then let's go invade motherfucking Iraq. And then let's give the fucking cheerleader, the number one cheerleader of the Iraq invasion, Rush motherfucking Limbaugh, a motherfucking medal. Now I hope Rush has a healthy, speedy recovery for his lung cancer. I wish no ill will on Rush Limbaugh. Like, I don't hate anybody, I ain't mad at anybody. But I'm saying that motherfucker, one side was like, hey, it's great in 1988. He's like, we're selling fucking weapons and gases to Saddam because he needs to fight his people. And then a few months later, he's like, hey, man, we have to invade fucking Iraq. They hit us in 9/11. So, like, if we're going to give medals of freedom for propaganda, if that is the thing, like the fact that we invaded Iraq and caused 100,000 innocent Iraqi civilians to fucking die is the biggest mistake America has ever made, and I refuse to change my mind. Right? Like the idea, and that was a Republican regime that ended the 8-year term with fucking the entire economy collapsing and us handing a blank check to Wall Street, Oppenheimer funds, and JP Morgan motherfucking Chase. And so that there's so many reasons why I don't believe in politics. Anywho, perilous change. And so at this point right now, our government, neither the Democrats or the fucking Republicans, give a single shit about the coronavirus or are acting like it's a big fucking deal. Perilous change. So if shit comes down the pipe now, then they're going to be like, oh my God, we have to overcorrect now that we're so late to the fucking party. Okay, so we're in March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change. Factions to conspire secretly. Are you talking about the guys in the Earth space weather community who have zero fucking proof that we are in the grand solar minimum? There is zero fucking proof. Like if you look at the last solar maximum, it was a little low, but shows no signs of fucking flatlining completely. We've already seen like 12 sunspots, 7 or 6 since the new cycle began. We have no fucking hard evidence that we are going into a grand solar minimum. We have not had the worst winter ever. As a matter of fact, for the Southeast, it's been like fucking spring the whole time. And so this mini ice age that has been advertised for years is nowhere fucking apparent. And I know you guys get your big boners anytime there's snow anywhere, but I'm just saying, as Carl Sagan said, if you are going to make extraordinary claims, you need extraordinary evidence, and I see no motherfucking evidence that we are in a grand solar minimum. The sun is not super flatlined outside of the realms of a normal solar minimum, and the last solar maximum wasn't fucking flatlined, and there is no fucking grand fucking freezy snowy shit everywhere. Motherfuckers, like Jesus Christ, you think you know what the sun is going to do? How arrogant can you fucking be? Like Goebbels said, if you repeat a lie long enough, people will believe it. And I have never been about getting fucking numbers and views and money. I have always gone after quality and the best of the minds. And I appreciated 10 days y'all left me the fuck alone. But the idea that you're fucking with me in the face of the coronavirus, holy shit, what the fuck is wrong with you? Your parents fucked up major. And you are probably a lousy parent as well. Lost my page again. I forgive you though, and I still pray for you. But seriously, if I could have a friendly for charity boxing match, I would take 2 of y'all, 3 of y'all on at once in a fair fight. Oh my God. There would be nothing I would love more than to sit on a stage in front of a live camera and have a debate. You're the same motherfuckers who were like, QAnon's gonna have fucking mass arrest. Hillary's going to jail. You need to go watch Diamond's Oppenheimer Funds Ranch Project video on QAnon where he lists all the way you can hack people, put up fucking fake spoof website, like all the things they can do. And the one guy, I forget, he has 1 million subscribers, that was at fucking LeakCon, that he was like, let me tell you every single detail of fucking Benghazi. Like, I was there, man. The tires were a little low in the air. The sky was a pink. Like, he literally goes into, like, what the fuck does Benghazi have to do with fucking, like, Building 7, motherfucker? And Ben knows, suspicious observers knows that the Earth's core produces oil, petroleum, and natural gas. Diamond knows the Earth's core produces oil and natural gas and petroleum. President fucking Trump knows that the Earth's core produces natural gas. That's how it works, man. Aurora's going to the top of the planet from the sun. It goes into the star's core, and then the core, which is like a stellar furnace, produces petroleum, natural gas, lava, and so it just keeps re-fucking creating it. And that is the great lie that they killed George Norrie for on Coast to fucking Coast. Because more and more people were starting to say, hey man, and they may kill me tomorrow for telling you this today. But I guarantee you that if the world's just gonna get shittier and everyone's just gonna be a bigger fucking whiny, gossipy, mean bitch, I don't give a fuck if you take me out. Like Jesus Christ said at one point, how long must I endure these motherfuckers? Although a lot of y'all are cool, but the people who are in control are dicks. All right, we're still in March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly. I'm saying the Republicans and Democrats are like fucking wrestlers, man. They're in it together. You want to know how you get to be a billionaire? You love money. It is like you have to unless you're J.K. Rowling who writes an amazing book, you basically have to wake up and say, how do I make $1 billion? It's like Taylor Swift's like, how do I make a fucking $1 billion? That has to be your number one fucking goal. And though I do not have major problems, asterisk, with Trump as president, I've said if the economy doesn't crash and we don't get the coronavirus, I will vote for Trump in 2020. If the economy crashes and we get the coronavirus, I'm voting for Democrat. Though probably I won't vote for anybody just like 2016 because they're all fucking garbage in my opinion. But I'm just saying, dude, that like the billionaires is a club you are not allowed into. I have been around them. They believe themselves to be royalty, and that some of them believe we are disposable. Taylor and I had a conversation where she was like, they plan controlled depopulation, which would be the one decent thing about coronavirus would be that they wouldn't have control over it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a horrible good takeaway that if they've been trying to fucking control the population and they get a non-controlled population, it's better, in my opinion. Because I am sick and tired of the fucking meanness and arrogance. And the idea that one man can think he's worth more than 1 million people is some of the most satanic, unchristian shit I've ever fucking heard. And especially if you think you're so much better than 1 million people because you write lukewarm pop songs, I am not fucking impressed. Bring back rock and roll. The fact that any motherfuckers would support the suppression of rock and roll is the most un-American thing I know of. I don't give a fuck how many tight pussies you get to fuck or how many billions you make. That is the shittiest shit I've ever heard of. And if somehow you get punished through eternity, I don't wish that on you, but I'm just saying it. Seems like a weird boat to be in. Okay, we're in March. I'm covering Nostradamus, the fucking year that freaked me out because it's basically detailing everything. We're in March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly. Right? Like rains, great winds, plague for proud ones. Here is the sentence that caused me to go into a mental downward spiral. For March, from Nostradamus, rains, great winds, plagues for proud ones. And that would be us. If I'm decoding this shit accurately, there's nobody prouder than America, right? And so while we're jerking off, talking about we're the greatest ever, we ain't got to fucking worry about this coronavirus. We ain't got to start playing defense a month ahead of time. We ain't got to stop. We ain't got to worry about helping. You know, the 420 billion we've given in the last 4 months to Wall Street. We ain't got to focus that on vaccines. We ain't got to focus that on helping contain it in China. You know, we can just say the stock market's, the economy's never been better. That we ain't got to worry about this motherfucking virus that is doubling every 3 days. We are great. Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. And so March, Nostradamus is like, hey, motherfuckers, that shit hit you guys in March. So we still got 24 days, 3.5 weeks to go in February. All right. And this is what sent me into a tailspin of like, oh my God. And then I've been having nightmare and I've been like, oh, dude, wish I hadn't read that. But as your planetary defense commander, I do the very best that I can do. And so if you've been with me, he pretty much nailed January. And the base year here is 1565. He nails February. And right now it sounds like he's gonna fucking nail March. And to my Christian fellows out there, like I said, I have to say, and Nostradamus has a whole thing where he wrote a letter to his son where he talks about there will be 1,000 years of peace. Okay? And so the things that have made me the man I am today, combination of Matthew and the book of Revelation and Nostradamus, that they talk about 1,000 years of peace, that Satan, the beast, everything will get thrown into the pit and mankind will be allowed to live in harmony, prosperity together. So I've never spent a fucking second of my life worrying about the rapture or worrying about dying. It has always been my goal to get us as close to 1,000 years of peace as possible. You're gonna ask my mom. You're gonna ask the psychiatrist at age 7. I'm 48 years old. I was talking about this shit at age 7. And that partially, if we go into the shitter, because free will is still a thing, it's my fault. It was my job to save the world. And so if it all gets fucked up, it's my fucking fault. And you would think at this point I would be much better prepared to deal with the pressure. But I thought I would get more help. All right, so we're in March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly, rains, great wind. And this is a reason that I've been like, hey man, the river flooding levels that we are going to get over the next 3 months, 4 months are going to be the worst that we've seen in modern times. For like Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, like it's going to be bad. Yes, winters up in the north part, but right now the southeast, like I've seen more fog than I have cold weather in Texas. Plagues for proud ones, March. So this is why. And then next, rivers to overflow. And I got to read it backwards, but look at that. Rivers to overflow, plague for proud ones. And I have always believed that prophecy is for damage mitigation. Just like John Teeter allowed us all to work together and avoid World War III in 2015. Cheers to that, by the way, Asteroid Fight Club. Y'all are fucking amazing. That God gave us, Christ gave us prophecy to mitigate this shit. That's how we handle it. All right, so we've laid out March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly, rains, great winds, and I'm pretty sure March is the conjunction of Eris and Earth again. It comes every 6 months. One is towards the Eris side, one is the other side. And we know without a doubt, even though I fucked up, thank you to Atmospheric Defense and Space Force, I got the fucking intensities wrong on the hurricanes, but they basically showed up around the times that I talked about, just in a much less dangerous fashion. And so March is going to be around that. So next month we're getting, and it says rivers to overflow. Nostradamus is pointing it out to the proud ones. Proud ones in March, you're getting river flooding problems. You're getting a fucking plague. Let me tell you this. I almost died 3 times in 2018. I was poisoned, which I my a I my stepdad had died and everything was horrible and like all the hackers and haters, like I was under worse siege than I've ever known and I couldn't take it anymore. So one night I drank like 12 shots of tequila and then I got in my car and put the pedal to the metal and for 3 hours at 111 miles an hour I just drove around in circles around Houston, right? And at one time I was crying so fucking hard because I miss my dad and I miss my stepdad, and the world was in such shitty shape and the pressure. I couldn't see anything, and tears were just covering. And when I look up, there was a wall that separates, and my car was headed straight for the wall. And a miracle, like the car moved itself, and I missed the wall by like 1 centimeter. And somehow it went on the wall like 1 centimeter away and then pulled off. And that was my low point, and I've been going up ever since. That was a miracle that saved me. The matrix like shook and I was fine. And then the other time was when they were going after my car, which I lost. They're like, my car just died on the fucking highway at 75 miles an hour in the middle, like in the middle of other cars. And the fact that I lived and didn't die right then with the dead car was like I almost died. So I believe that I am here for 15 years no matter what. And so that the coronavirus is not going to kill me. May make me wheeze and walk funny, but I think I'm going to survive it. So if I get it, I'm going to drink a lot of whiskey, I'm going to drink a lot of NyQuil, and then I'm going to drive to a state where marijuana is legal, and then I'm going to smoke a lot of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? So that's my attitude. That's why I'm telling everybody to get mentally, physically prepared to survive this. If you want to survive, survive it. I love you guys. All right. So there's March. Okay, I'm gonna recap real fast without the breakdowns. When he breaks the whole year down, 100 times worse than the year past. So he's basically saying, if I've decoded this right, this year's gonna be 100 times worse than last year. So we need to be strong. And the power couples need to start hooking up. The cool people need to start getting together. And the fucking dickheads who have fun trolling everyone and making people feel miserable need to fucking put a sock in it, bro. Like, grow the fuck up. Like, be a man. Do you know how to be a man? Did anyone teach you how to be a man? I recognize that the Scorpio cycle the last 7 years has rewarded mean people and dishonesty, but I'm gonna need you to fucking evolve. 100 times, I said I would talk about it. 100 times worse than the year past, even for the great ones of the realm and of the church. Infinite evils, death, exile, ruin, broken. The great female to death to be, plague, wounds, and log. All right, January, snow, rust, and great plagues. For the greatest ones, joy, meaning like, hey man, we're the great America. We ain't got to worry. Great, make American great ones again. We ain't got to worry about the plague. It ain't over here. Woohoo! Stock market so high. Pestilence, sleeplessness. That's me. I haven't been sleeping much. Seeds, grain plentiful. No matter what you've been sold on YouTube of, they're killing all the crops. The crops are doing great. I'm not saying that'll last forever. And more bans. They will prepare themselves, hostility unallayed. That was January. Nostradamus nailed it. February, among the great ones, great discord to arise. We had the Iowa clusterfuck shit show. We had the State of the Union where Trump was like, everything is great. The economy has never been better. And then today we had the like impeachment total shit show where Democrats wasted all your time, all your energy. I mean, think about it. They knew ahead of time that they weren't going to be able to block the Supreme Court judge, but they wasted your time anyways. They knew that Republicans were not going to take Trump out of office, but they did it anyways. It's almost like that's like it's just either they're all in it together or the Democrats are literally throwing it into the dirt as much as possible. And I want to remind you, the 4 top companies, and I know this hurts some people's ears, that have done well over the last 3 years are Microsoft, Apple, Google, and Amazon. There's your motherfucking MAGA right there, bro. But somehow the deep state is taking major hits. You know, like, and so like Trump literally sat down like 3 days after he won with all the heads of Silicon Valley and was like, "Thanks, guys." But I don't think he's evil. Hopefully everyone is working behind the scenes to make the world a better place, as crazy as that sounds. All right. So yeah, February, among the great ones, great discord to arise. The tall cleric, la clerk procere on great brasara. Tall cleric will plot a great event. And the wonderful Leo King, who is a Christian astrologer on YouTube, was talking last night in his deep astrology about how we are about to go to like 1 degree of something in Capricorn. So we are literally somewhere in the next week or so, we are literally going to be the exact same astrological energy of 9/11. Oh, there's another hot point for you. So, no coincidence. Nostradamus talking about a great event that's plotted. New sects to place in hatred and discord, meaning we're just gonna. February is gonna be a month of ratcheting up. Everybody hates everybody. Black versus white, Republican versus Democrat, gays versus straights, transgenders versus everybody's. No disrespect. Muslims versus Jews and Christians. You know, that like Eagles fans versus 49ers. And here's another crappy thing, that if the virus does come to America and everybody's wearing masks, that means the amount of oral sex that people are going to be giving to each other is going to go way down. I guess not that that matters, because I haven't fooled around with anyone since Taylor. Well, asterisk. I was talking about. But yeah, so the whole like February is going to be a month of hatred and discord. And so during this time where everybody's hating everybody, nobody's going to be worried about the coronavirus. We aren't going to be doing what we can to help China. We aren't going to be doing what we can to work together as families and communities to make sure that this shit doesn't hit us. You know, like China built a fucking super hospital in 3 days. America does not do that. We're opening up Pentagon and bases. Like, take them here. Okay. But yeah, war and change to injure all people. And, you know, Israel's been bombing a lot of people. You have the whole Palestinian thing. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we see more. Like, can I go back over like how dumb this shit is? Remember Iran? Okay, so at one point, Iran flew a drone, asterisk, 2,000 miles just to bomb a Saudi Arabia refinery. Then Iran attacked our embassy in Iraq, and then Iran shot its own plane down. I mean, that's just like, it's like Iran's like the worst supervillain ever. And death is not funny. And high oil prices is not funny. Oil is also shitting the bed. I'm saying, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more war this month, when it's a time where everybody's supposed to be getting together. So we get to March. March is secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions that conspire, rains, great winds, plagues for proud ones, rivers to overflow, and pestiferous actions. So March sounds like a clusterfuck. And the whole thing is, in the middle of February to the middle of March, we get Mercury retrograde, where your shit's going to break, your cars are break down, things aren't going to work, everybody's going to miscommunicate, everybody's going to be overly sensitive. And then when that's over, I believe it's like April, May, June, we're getting Venus retrograde. And the last time we got Venus retrograde, we got Hurricane Michael and a bunch of, like, it was a bad weather time, man. So we have Mercury retrograde going into a Venus retrograde. And so, Katie, bar the door. All right. So now we're getting into April. Are you ready? Plague to multiply. Okay, so I read Nostradamus has a thing called presages, right? Where he has like 10 or 15, 20 years where he talks about each month every year almost. And so I read them all. And this was the only year where he mentions plagues or pestilence more than once, really. And he's mentioned it 3 out of the first 4 months. The only month he doesn't mention it is February. Because he says everybody's too busy hating each other to really fucking worry about it. And so now that we're in April, plague to multiply. The sex to fight each other. So basically, while the coronavirus is getting worse, everybody's just fighting with everybody. Like, it's thank you again to Asteroid Fight Club. And politics doesn't solve shit, man. All right, so April, plague to multiply. So let me reiterate again. In March, it says the proud ones, which would be us, get the plague. And then in April, the plague starts to multiply. So this is why I think we should be working together. The irony is, I've got the gang that's trying to take over space and Earth weather coming after me, which is fine. You guys have covered my ass every single time, and I think you guys can pretty much see. I mean, literally, they put like every single video they make, it's like snow. Hey, dude, there was snow in January. Hey, dude, there was snow. There's oh my god, boom, snow, boom. Total proof of grand solar minimum. There's snow, and there's no proof. Nobody's knows, but like, so yeah, everybody's gonna be fighting everybody. We're at a time we should all be like, hey, let's have a truce. Nobody's gonna want a fucking truce. What do I have? Some acoustic guitar strings. Someone the other night said they were gonna send me acoustic guitar strings because both my G's are broken. But I haven't got them in the mail. If somebody wants to send me some acoustic guitar strings, I have 2 guitars that both need G strings. That would be great because you guys are great. All right, so we're in April, and so you get plague multiplying. The sects are fighting each other. And sure, yeah, I'm up for combat, whether it be Taylor Swift and her people that like to keep rock and roll down, although she's also involved in the controlling weather and space weather, or all the whole NSA fucking controlled opposition that's trying to force all this shit down everybody's throat. Ooh, snow! Boom! Boom! Al Gore! Dude, I'm a fighter. If I gotta fight, I will. And you're gonna see more jackass jerky shit from everybody. Times moderated. Winter, little return. Whoa. Yeah, we are going to get some cold shots. Like I've said, we got like 2 or 3 more cold shots coming. But the Southeast is going to stay really warm because we got those volcanoes and the magma active in the Caribbean where we had the 8.8 of mass and meeting house grievously to debate. And so for the second fucking paragraph, Nostradamus is saying rivers to overflow. So the rivers will be badly overflowing in March. The rivers will be badly overflowing in April. And we can pretty much figure out anywhere along the Edgar Cayce, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, parts of Georgia, Tennessee, like we can already see an idea of where that shit is going to be. So we get in the first 4 months we have 3 references to plagues, a third reference to the proudest ones getting the plague, and then 2 references in March and April to river flooding. Evils, mortals all around. May, people in debates and quarrels over trivia. Even if you don't believe in Nostradamus, he's a great writer. So yeah, but everybody's debate. Like, we're not looking for a fucking solution. Here's the thing, and over women and deceased Great War. Now, here's the crazy part. I saved Taylor's life before. And technically, if I save your life again, it would be great to get a new Mustang and a week vacation, but I know you're not the type of person that would do that. I know you pinch pennies tighter than any motherfucker I've ever met in the world, and technically you've probably stolen from me and that you steal from a lot of people. But if I save your life again, it would be really great to, get a car and a vacation. Anyway, so here in May, the death of a great female. And if you'll notice, they've been putting Taylor up on a pedestal. They gave her the Lifetime Achievement Award, even though she's only 30. And they came out with a documentary and they let her say, I'm a good person. All I do is good things. She literally came to my apartment while she was filming that motherfucker. And we made out for a day and a half. She's mad at me the second half. And so they set her up as some saint who's championing politics, and they're like, to me, and it's been my thing. She literally started a war with the Carlisle Group. They bought her 6 albums, and so I fear they're gonna Kobe her. And so think of the outpouring you had for Kobe. If Taylor died, women would lose their fucking there would be some, and then I don't know. So anyway, it says the death of a great female, and I don't know who else out there the media considers the greatest female on the planet. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It says death of a great female to celebrate the kings of evil and more great ladies expelled from the land. And I've talked about this before. I don't know, Taylor was pretty mean, but remember, the media, the same people squeezed every drop out of Bill Cosby before they turned around and stabbed him in the back and fed him to the masses. Same shit with Harvey Weinstein. He had full control. They squeezed every drop out of him, and then they turned around and fed him to the masses. And so, it's almost like insurance, where if you're in a law case, is it easier to settle the case or is it easier to take it to trial? With a lot of these pop stars, they're going to be like, would we make more money if they die today now that they peaked and then we own their catalogs, or will they have more durability down the road? There's a very Ace River aspect to this motherfucker. Seriously, Selena's last album was just mediocre, and the last stories about her have been how oh my God, Justin Bieber abused me. And that if these people who took out some of the greatest names you've ever known, Cobain, Tupac, if you think they wouldn't do that to you, you got another motherfucking thing coming. Anyway, but it sounds like I've nailed this fucking year. That this one is pretty super accurate so far. But prophecies for mitigation. And so we can try and change. And, the last decade, especially the last 4 years, have been talking about how all men are garbage, all men are evil. And then, the pendulum is going to swing back. It's why I've been trying to recruit a lot of these women to be like, since you were part of the group that literally had the heel on rock and roll and was like, we are the music industry, we control it all, we will even deep fake a lot of the one-hit wonder bands where we're the same people and we can keep the whole music industry in a tight little group. You could either repent and help bring rock and roll back, or that pendulum's going to swing back your way, man. I've spent the last few years trying to whatever, and I haven't been very successful. Here we go. In June, in widowhood, as many males as females. Meaning, remember, this plague is now run rampant. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. So this is the same shit. I was talking about, that if what I was told was correct by 2 different people, that this was a mistake, and it would make sense in the whole God's working of if the rich got so cocky that something like this would put everyone in danger, no matter how rich you were, or this would be a very humbling experience, a worldwide pandemic. So here you see the lives of great monarchs in danger: plague, steel, famine, great peril pell mell, troubles through changes, that little great ones to incite. And then we get to July, and it's hail, rust, great plagues. So he's now referenced plagues in 5 of the 7 months, or 4. Like, so. Oh, and this is the one. To preserve women, they will be the cause of the great noise. Death of several through plague, steel, famine, through hatreds. The sky will be seen again, which will mean that it will light up greatly. But here it talks about scarcity of fruits, nor grain, trees, and shrubs. That's September. All right. But this has been an hour. We've covered I think I've gone over a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've definitely put out enough information to get me killed time and time over. Though I've always said that because I've been respectful and that I've represented both the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, that if you had to kill me, if you could do it without any type of torture, that would be fucking wonderful, you know? But either way, people are always like, the greatest people, including Christ, get tortured. Well, if that's how you got to go, I've always known that. But that is also one of the reasons I've been one of the most amazing men on the planet. Though I guess I got to work on my humility. And it'd be nice to have sex with someone else, you know. But I guess if I did get killed tomorrow, you can put. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you, Astro Fight Club. That's why you. What book is he reading? It's called Nostradamus and His Prophecies. I'm reading from his Presages, where he usually does quatrains from 11 centuries. But he has a weird thing called Presages, where he gives a year number and then he gives the month. Right? And so these have been my favorite, like. And so, you know, I have always had a love for prophecy, whether it be the book of Revelation, Matthew, Nostradamus. And so my whole life as a screenwriter, it's always been something I've referred to. And like, I just broke down the first 6 months, and he definitely has nailed January and February, and it looks like he's going to nail March. And so if there's a reason I was so disappointed, hey, what's up, Taylor? Glad you're here. It was fun. Remember when you're like, I know a hitman, he's going to kill you. I was like, so many people have said that over the last 5 years, but somehow I'm still here. Thank you, Space Force. Thank you, Air Force. Thank you, Marines. Thank you, 007. Thank you to all the great people out there who stand and defend people. Thank you to everyone with a real American heart. Thank you to the defenders and the guardians of those who cannot defend themselves. What a wild ride this has been. You know? Cheers. Here's another thing. Love you guys. You notice how Tesla spiked through the roof, right? People are like, wow, Tesla's stock price like super quadrupled. You know what it probably is? You know how he's putting up like 44,000 satellites that rotate over Earth in low orbit and you can see them? Imagine if your government had done that. Imagine if the NSA was like, hey man, we're going to put up 44,000 satellites in the sky that you can see and will fuck up all of astronomy. People would be like, hey, no way, NSA, don't fuck up our sky. But if Elon Musk, the only man that the media has said is wonderful over the last decade, did it, then people would be like, we fucking love Elon Musk. He's like the modern Edison. Fucking Trump literally called him the modern Edison. And remember, when they took out fucking Tesla, they were like, we're taking Tesla away, but you can have Edison. And so they probably, they couldn't have pumped it through SpaceX. So they probably pumped in a lot of cash to thank him for putting up all those fucking NSA satellites. Though we all get creeped out if everybody's evil. So let's hope Elon's not evil. Let's hope even Taylor's not evil. Everybody stole from Tesla. That's what I'm saying. Like being a great, honest man who refuses to conform always ends up with some shitty shit. Like if you want to become a billionaire, you literally got to walk the path trodden by many. It's sort of depressing. And I don't mean to slag every billionaire. We need we need everybody to work together. All right. Any questions? Already reincarnated? Yeah, well, hopefully reincarnated Jimi Hendrix and Prince can get back fast. Because what we need is rock and roll. And thank you again to Incubus for the song Our Love. And thank you to anyone out there who's going to write me a great fucking anthem. Because nothing uplifts people better than music. All right. And if I got anything wrong, oh, dude, I'm chain smoking. Like, literally, there are, shit is so fucked up right now that, I am convinced that this fucking we are in for negative territory. I live in a foxhole that I never fucking leave. So I can bring you guys the truth that my two vices are I drink energy drinks and I smoke fucking cigarettes. And when Marines send me money and say drink beer, I drink beer. So, and you know what, man? I think if I got the coronavirus, my lungs would be so filled with tar, it'll help me survive. My sister came over the other day for the first time in 2 years since my stepdad died, and we laughed about that. We both smoked and are like, well, isn't it good that our lungs are covered with tar? Because we'll probably survive this motherfucker. I don't know, man. People just like to judge people. And I'll never get that. Like, shit. I don't know. Why? Oh, Nick Loves, if you're watching, her and Alexis Knapp are like the two most physically attractive women on the planet. So I'd throw that out there. Although Emma's cute too. Okay, love you guys. So, wait, and Valentine's Day. Okay, I'll say this. Leo King said Saturday and Sunday. What type of porn do you prefer? Let me say this again. My imagination is so spectacular that anytime I've got like 3 movie screens up in it, and I can watch a movie in 2 minutes, like a whole front to back. And so that's why I've drawn 1,000 drawings. Although you get frustrated because it's never as good in your imagination. I've written 11 to 13 complete original screenplays that I've never watched porn. I don't want to watch people having sex. It'd be like watching people have wiffle ball. Like it would only remind me of I have no one. And B, if I want to imagine having Nick Loves as the front spoon and Billie Eilish as the back spoon, and then Emma Watson on top, and I sleep, but then when I wake up, I have an erection. Like if I want to, I can imagine that, and it's just as good as mortals porn. Like I can literally, like Ariana Grande, like shit. I can wear her like a backpack all day, and some days they just show up like holograms where I'm like, I don't want to be thinking about you, woman. But they show up anyway. Somebody asked me if I'm a virgin. I want to say again, I've made out with over 100 women from the age of 15 up until, I made out with Taylor. So I've always had an addiction to the most beautiful women on the planet. And they're definitely one of the most powerful things we've got in society. And if you have 3 super beautiful women together in a group, ain't nothing can break that triangle up. They can run through any room, any banquet, any party, anywhere. Okay, love you guys. Seems like a great thing to end on. Stay cool. God bless everyone. Wow, you sound like a grand solar minimum guy. Jake, you got any proof for GSM? Like what other than a bunch of grown ass men who are funded beyond belief, what is the proof for what is your great evidence that we are in a grand solar minimum? What is your great evidence we got a fucking mini ice age coming? What is the great evidence you know that what the sun is going to do? Tell me how you let me ask you this. What causes the 11-year solar cycle? If you know what the sun is going to do, you clearly must know what causes a solar cycle. Okay, but if you know that the sun is going into a solar minimum, tell me what causes the solar cycle. What is going to cause the sun to go into flatline? What is the thing that causes the 11-year solar cycles? It would be like saying your car's gonna explode, and then you're like, why is your car gonna explode? You're like, I don't know, I just know it will. And Epstein's still alive, man. Think about it. Like, if he literally got all the richest people every sexual desire they wanted for the last 20 years, why would they turn on him? And why doesn't the NSA find every pedophile in every phone and do QAnon mass arrests of every pedophile out there? Like, I don't know. Remember, it was part of the whole QAnon shit. Like, crazy. I know y'all basically, so many people basically believe whatever CNN or Fox News is going to tell you. Like, they're like, you got to focus on Nancy Pelosi ripping up this. You got to focus on this. They show you exactly what to focus on. And if the MSM is telling you to focus on it, I would say that's the last thing you should be focused on. All right, great. God bless everyone. Stay cool.